This video is for entertainment purposes only. Nothing should be taken as factual. This is all my opinion and for your entertainment. Thank you and enjoy. This is Sonia with Melanin Goddess Life. Welcome back to my channel and welcome back to another astrological video. Actually, another celebrity reading. Today's reading we're going to be doing by request. One of my subscribers here on my YouTube channel has requested that I do an astrological reading on a very popular couple. And I thought it would be very interesting to delve into this person's life. And just by looking at her chart, I feel like something is brewing for this person. The person we're going to be talking about today is Britney Spears and her fiance, Sam Asghari. I hope I'm saying it right. If I'm not, my apologies. Okay, so as with all my astrological readings, we're going to first do them individually. Then we're going to do them as a couple, and I'm going to give you my final thoughts on how I feel like this relationship is going to go. So let's get started with Britney Spears. Britney was born December 2nd, 1981, and she actually has a birth time available of 1:30 a.m. I believe she was born in McComb, Mississippi. So that's going to make her 40 years old. She's a Sagittarius sun, Aquarius moon, and Libra rising. And that Aquarius moon attests to why her relationships have been so unpredictable, strange, and just very, very different. If you know anything about Aquarius energy, that's all about doing things differently, outside of the box, things happening very, very quickly, ending very quickly, and just looking at the energy of Aquarius, it just seems that they're always marching to the beat of their own drummer. And that definitely sums up Britney's relationship history. So we're going to talk, and then also her Libra rising speaks to why she likes to be in relationships, because we know Libra is ruled by the seventh house. Seventh house is all about relations, one-on-one commitments in relationships. And she does like to be in relationships, even when they're not very healthy. Okay, so we're going to talk about first her relationship activity age. I did her calculations, and I will say the age that I came up with was 39, which, if I'm thinking about this correctly, she did get engaged at the age of 39. So we have that. So the next time she'll have some relationship activity in her life will be at the age of 42. So that's kind of down the line a little bit. So we're just going to focus on what happened to her at 39, which is she got engaged. Now, the theme of her 2022, which started her last birthday, December, and it's going to run into her next birthday, so the entire year, is all about fifth house matters. So this is the house of joy. This is the house of romance, dating, love affairs, our children, procreation, our self-expression, and our creativity. So the theme of 2022 for Britney is definitely going to be centered around her romance. So this could be energy around her and her partner, taking a really good hard look at their relationship. Dealing with relationship dynamics, relationship energy, if they're trying to bring the romance back to their relationship, trying to date each other again, this is going to be energy around that. This is also going to be an energy around her children. So I'm not really sure of the dynamics of her children. I do believe that there's a little bit of estrangement with her children, or there may be some type of issue or situation or dynamics within her children that may not be the best. So this will actually be a year that Britney will be focused on repairing those relationships with her children, strengthening her relationship with her children. So that's going to be very, very important for her. Now, this is also the area of procreation. I would not be surprised, and there's some other indicators that we're going to talk about a little bit later in this reading that will kind of solidify the thought that Britney may be thinking about having another baby. She may be trying to have another baby. We actually could hear an announcement of a pregnancy or an adoption or some type of addition to her family by way of a baby this year. I would not be surprised. And this is also about her self-expression and her creativity. With everything that's happened to her within the last year and a half, especially with the dynamics of her being released from the conservatorship under her father, this is all about Britney expressing who she really is. And she is doing that on stage with social media. Britney loves to dance. She loves to show off. She loves to take pictures. Her social media presence is just kind of like all over the place. But this is her opportunity to do things that she hasn't been able to do for the last several years. So you're going to be seeing a lot more of Britney expressing herself in a way that she hasn't been able to do. Okay, so that's the theme of her 2022. So let's break down some energies that I see in her transit chart, and just kind of look at the different areas of her life that I feel like are going to be impacted or highlighted for this year. First thing we're going to talk about is the Jupiter and Neptune conjunction that is transiting in her 6th house. Now, the 6th house is the house of health and fitness. It is the house of our mental and physical health, our work environment. So this is the people that we work with, around, and for. This is also our personal day-to-day activities, how we're of service to others, and the house of the foods that we eat and pets. So Jupiter and Neptune are right there together, transiting her 6th house. Typically, Jupiter takes about a year and a half to go through a house. So she does definitely have a few more months of this energy. And Neptune takes about 14 years to transit a house. And it's been in this area of her life for quite some time, several years. So she does have a few more years of that Neptunian energy. Let's start with Jupiter first. When Jupiter comes to a house or interacts with another planet, it's there to expand. Jupiter brings big blessings. It brings opportunity, optimism, wisdom, healing, expansion, growth, and opportunity. Now, it also can bring about a sense of an overinflated ego or overestimating your abilities, okay? So it's been in the 6th house. So 6th house of health. For me, this is energy that is going to bring her opportunities to heal herself. Okay. So this could look like her mental and physical health, her finally being able to approach those dynamics with regards to mental and physical health and heal herself. Because we have to remember, Jupiter actually is a healing type of energy, and it's also an energy of wisdom and teaching. So I would not be surprised if there are people that are coming into Britney's life that could possibly help her with her transition into this new area of her life with regards to her mental health, her physical health, and healing her body and teaching her how to do things. Now, the only concern that I have with that is because she has Neptune there in the 6th house. Neptune is the planet of fantasy, our intuition, spirituality, compassion, unconditional love, but it is also the planet of confusion and delusion, and sometimes not seeing things clearly. This is also the planet that governs drugs, addictions, self-sabotaging behavior. And it has been in Britney's 6th house of health and fitness, mental and physical health, work environments for the last several years. And when I say several years, well over about close to 10 years now. And it has about 4 more years to be in this house, more or less. Britney has got to be careful at this time with medications, over-medicating herself, just basically possibly becoming addicted to substances, especially those that alter her thinking, and especially if she's taking any substances that have to do with helping her sleep or sleep aids. This could also be an energy of self-medicating, whereas, she's deciding to medicate herself strictly with regards to what she thinks she needs. Okay. This could also be even having an issue with prescription drugs She has just got to be very, very mindful of getting caught up in addictive behavior. She also, this energy can trigger mental health issues, mental health crisis. So, I cannot definitively say that she's bipolar. I would never put anything out there like that. But we can say that Britney may be suffering from mental health challenges that are being aggravated by this Neptune. And now with it in conjunction with Jupiter, you may see this blow up. Okay. I don't want that for her, but she's definitely in an energy of the possibility of, if she is medicating herself, if she is dealing with mental health issues, they can actually be blown up and exaggerated at this time. Okay. Now, also, this being the house of the foods we eat and things of that nature, Brittany's going to have to be very, very careful of a lot of weight gain, because Jupiter just makes us, eat more. And this is the house of our foods. So she has to be careful with overindulging in food, overindulging in medications, alcohol, things of that nature. Just anything around this area of her life, just being mindful of overindulging and fooling herself and believing that she has these things under control. Now, this also could be an energy that in a positive way can affect her work environment and who she works with, around, and for. If she can manifest really, really positive people into her life that can help her with her work environment. She is going through some changes. She now has control over her life again. She has control over her schedule. She has control over how she works. So at this time, she could be definitely have these big, grand ideas of how she wants to do things, because Jupiter is going to put you in the position that feels like you can do everything. So she has to be mindful of overextending herself with regards to work, and just being in that energy of promising things that she cannot deliver by way of work. Okay, and her work environment and who she's working with. This would also be a good time. She may want to decide to get a pet, because pets are very therapeutic. So I could definitely see her at this time bringing a new pet into her home, into her life. Okay, now this is also the area that governs service to others. Brittany's going to have to be very, very careful on whether or not she's giving more than she's receiving. Particularly around the people that are in her life that she works with, and those that she has a day-to-day interaction with. Is she in a reciprocal relationship? Is that Neptunian energy fooling her into believing that, she's in this relationship where it's give and take, but when you really, really look at it, she's doing all the giving, and the other person may be doing all the taking. Now, this could also look like, because it's in the house of service to others, an energy around her having to take care of someone. And that could look in any way. There could be someone that's sick, or someone that needs her assistance financially. And we've seen that play out with her before. So she has to be careful with people around her that she's really being put in the position to have to take care of. Okay. Now, the next thing we're going to talk about is the Saturn transit. And this is going to go back to what we first talked about with regards to her fifth house and her theme of 2022. She has Saturn, Mars, and Juno transiting her fifth house. Now, Saturn typically transits a house for about 2.5 years. So she has about another year of this transit in her fifth house. Okay. So this is why I feel like Britney probably is seriously thinking about having more children. This also is an energy, because Saturn is an energy about putting down roots, building a foundation. It's the house of hard lessons, delays, restrictions, duty, and doing things in the proper order. So with regards to having children, I do believe that she's probably having a serious discussion with her fiance with regards to having children. Because it's Saturn. Now, this also could put her in the energy of, if she's trying to have a baby, having a little bit of difficulty probably getting pregnant. I don't know for certain, but looking at her natal placement, she has the moon in Aquarius. I wouldn't be surprised that if she's deciding to have children, she's going to either have to do IVF, or she may be doing it through a surrogate of some sort. But her road to becoming a parent may look different than her other two pregnancies. She may actually have to use a surrogate, or she may have to get IVF treatments, or they may consider adoption of some sort. Now, this also, again, is the area of children. So with this Saturn here, this is why I'm of the belief that there's some difficulty with her and her children's relationship that she's trying to work through at this time. So I wish her all the best with that. That Saturn can definitely put a lot of pressure. It can definitely shake up the foundation of the relationship, being that Saturn wants to shake up the foundation and to see if this foundation is solid. And if not, we need to start building our relationship on a more solid foundation. Okay. And this could be one of her children is in some type of crisis or having some type of issue at this time and just kind of maybe having a hard time in life. That could be one of those things. She also has Mars here. So Mars in the 5th house definitely can, that's a planet of passion, war, arguments, conflict, creativity, all those things. With it being in the 5th house, this could go either way. This could be making her relationship with her fiance full of passion and romance and all of those things. But it could set up that they're having a lot of petty arguments, a lot of conflict in the relationship. And this may be conflict also with her children. So just keep that in mind. That Mars energy will be out of this house within the next couple of weeks or so. But that Saturn is going to stay there for at least another year. And she's definitely going to be dealing with a lot of things with regards to her creativity, her children, and pregnancy. Okay, so I'm of the belief that there is at least a discussion about children at this time. She also has Pluto in the 4th house. 4th house represents family, the one we come from and the one we create for ourselves. This is the buying and selling of real estate. So this is their actual home that we live in. This is also the energy around the prominent women in our family. So that could look like her mother, her sister, aunts, things of that nature, women that are close to her or people that have a lot of feminine energy to them. And this is also the house of our emotional stability. This is where the foundation of our emotions begin, with our family, with the family that we're born into. She has Pluto in this particular area. Pluto can stay in the house from anywhere from 14 to 30 years, and Pluto has been here for double-digit years with Britney. And the Pluto is the planet of transformation. It's the planet of evolution, control. It's the planet of control. It's the planet of sex. It's the planet of obsessions. It's the planet of death and rebirth, literally and figuratively. And if we can't say anything else about Britney and her life, it has been transformative over the last several years. Now, this Pluto is a slow-moving energy. So you don't feel it as dynamic as you would more the faster moving planets. But keep in mind, it is a very heavy energy. So this has been a progression with her with regards to her family dynamics, relationships with the women in her family, her mother, her sister, relationships with her dad. They have definitely been transformative with regards to her family. Even, the situations with her getting married and having children and going through her divorces and things of that nature. All of that has been under this Pluto energy. Now, I would say Pluto is about to go into a very critical degree. It's at 28 degrees right now. So it is putting a lot of pressure again on family dynamics with Britney. And when she gets to that 29th degree, there is going to be a major disruption within her family dynamic. A major disruption. I don't want to speak on what I believe this could be, but just know the changes in Britney's family and the dynamics of her family have not gotten to the worst. We think they have, but it's going to get much, much worse. And it's going to play out again in the public eye. Okay. So just keep that in mind. I wish her the best on that. But I do believe that that is coming down the pipeline. Another transformative time within regards to her family, particularly with her mother and her sister. So I'm just going to leave that there. She also has Uranus, the planet of unexpected change, unpredictability, revolution, doing things differently in her 8th house. The 8th house is the house of shared resources, shared finances, anything we share with another person or another entity. This is also the area that governs unexpected money, inheritances, taxes, loans, our assets, our property, money that's being withheld from us from somewhere else, money that we receive through someone else. So that could be a spouse or a business partner, something to that effect, our business. This is also the area that governs sex and intimacy. And Uranus stays in a house for about 7 years. I think Britney has this energy to at least 2026. So she can anticipate a lot of changes with regards to any type of resources and finances and things that she shares with another person or that is connected with another person. So she's going to have to prepare herself for a lot of twists and turns and things of that nature with regards to money. I would caution Britney about putting her finances together with someone else. And that's not just her fiance. That's people that she goes into business with, people that she entrusts with her money, things of that nature. I do believe that Britney's going to be in the next 3-4 years, a lot of surprises with regards to her money, and how it may not have been handled properly, and people are not being on the up and up with regards to her money. She really needs to get more of a handle and more involved with her finances, because I do believe that she's going to run into a situation where she's going to learn that her money has been mismanaged and that potentially there's been possibly some underhanded illegal activity with regards to her finances that she's going to come out for her in the next year or so. So she would do her due diligence to get more involved with her money and who she has in charge of her money and who she's going into business with and what she's signing off on. I feel like she's going to be possibly put into a position where she is taking financial responsibility going into what she believes to be an equal situation, but she ends up on the losing end of it financially. I'm just going to leave that there. And this is also backed up with regards to the fact that she has her North Node in the 8th house. And the North Node is all about where we're going, what we're trying to achieve. So this is a heavy energy in this 8th house with regards to that area of her life, the monies that she shares with another person or another entity, and her resources. That South Node is in the 2nd house. That's her individual earnings. That's how she earns her money as an individual. Just changes, a lot of dynamic changes around Britney's money. I'm concerned. I'm very concerned. When I saw this in her chart, I was very, very concerned with her finances. I just, I don't, and because Britney has not had control of her finances for several years, I do not believe that she really knows the magnitude of what has happened with her financially. Okay. This is also the area of sex and intimacy. So this is the intimate connections we make with another person. This is our sex life. So this definitely is going to be a time where Britney is going to be just outside of the box when it comes to regards to sex, and her being very open and free with talking about, expressing, and sharing, her sex life, primarily with social media, with the media in general, just a little bit odd behavior, okay? So just expect the unexpected with regards to Britney, okay? Now, Britney's also going through a Pluto square and a Uranus opposition. There is so much pressure on this woman. There is so much pressure on this woman. So her Pluto square is actually squaring off transiting the fourth house. Her natal Pluto is in the first house. They're squaring off with each other. So this is still a lot of pressure, a lot of power struggles, because Pluto is all about power struggles with regards to her individuality and her family. They're still trying to control her. Just plain and simple. So she's still dealing with that dynamic of her family. She also has her Uranus opposition. That is a little bit of ways away before she has to deal with that. But that's going to be opposing her ninth house and her third house. Britney is still in the dynamic of issues with her family. They are still weighing heavily. Please do not be fooled into thinking that her being released from this conservatorship has really, really released her from the dynamics, well, the unhealthy dynamics of her and her family. She is still dealing with that. And that's going to be an ongoing situation for a very, very long time. With regards to her love life, Britney has, I'm looking at the ruler of her seventh house, which is Aries. So that's ruled by Mars. Mars is in her natal 12th house. So that says to me, with that kind of placement, it can be a challenging position. This can sometimes make up for drawing in partners that are unavailable. So that could mean someone is already in a relationship. That can mean someone is suffering from addiction. That can mean someone is emotionally unavailable. She draws into her probably partners that can't give her the emotional connection that she wants, but just some way that they're just kind of checked out or unavailable with the relationship. And there's a lot of sacrifices that have to be made. She has a tendency to draw partners into her that she has to make a lot of sacrifices for. And sometimes Britney can be idealistic about her relationships, or she can put herself in a fantasy world when it comes to her relationship, and she really does not want to face the fact that there could be issues or problems within her romantic relationships. So she does look at relationships typically through rose-colored glasses. Sometimes she can get herself in very karmic relationships. And there could be a tendency to draw people to her that are already married, and she not know about it. Or again, these people are very unavailable to her in some way. And that's a karma that she's going to have to work through, or it's going to keep playing over and over and over in her relationships. So let's talk about now her partner, Sam. He was born March 23rd, 1994. I do not have a birth time for him. And he was born in Tehran, Iran. Okay. He's 28 years old, so there is an age difference here. And he's an Aries sun, Leo moon, and a Cancer rising. Now, again, without the birth time, the rising sign is 50-50, but we're going to go with it. I did his relationship age calculation, and I came up with, actually, he is in relationship energy right now, which is 28 years old. Let me tell you something. I'm just going to go ahead and say this. I think they're married. I think they're married already. Or I think the marriage is coming up very, very soon. I would not be surprised if it happens sometime this year. Because I'm looking at her chart and his chart. They're going to be married this year. I would bet money on that. Okay. His theme of his 2022, guess what, is the same as hers. Fifth house things: children, procreation, romance, love affairs, self-expression, creativity. So they're in the same dynamic of their relationship. These two people are going to get married, period. His Jupiter right now is Jupiter and Neptune is transiting his 10th house of career. This is actually a really good space for him career wise, because again, Jupiter brings opportunity, expansion, growth, optimism, things of that nature. So I don't know what this gentleman does for a living. I could try to figure it out a little bit later, but by way of his career, he could see a lot of growth and expansion in his career this year. He has about a year of this energy. However, he does have Neptune also conjuncting, so it's going through his 10th house. This is going to look like for the next several years, even though he has a lot of growth and opportunity expansion to him, available to him this year, he may go through a series of just career changes, period. And nothing just seems to stick. So he may be doing that. Another thing that Neptune in the 10th house will bring, and because it's the 10th house is all about career, the titles that we wear, our public image, our standing in the community, and our reputation. Neptune, again, is that planet of illusion and confusion. When Neptune is in the 10th house, this could give the person, people can't figure you out. People can't figure out what your motive is, what you stand for, who you are. So with this energy being in the 10th house and this representing his public image and how he's seen in the public, this is not actually putting him in a favorable light, because I feel like people are looking at him and trying to figure out, is he in it because he loves her, or is he an opportunist, or where did this guy come from? We don't know anything about him. So people are projecting a lot of what they believe him to be, and this may not necessarily be him. He's dealing with a lot of that, and he's going to continue to deal with that for several years. So that's just the energy that he's going to have to deal with. When you have Neptune in the 10th house, people, like I said, can't figure you out, and they start to try to define you in the way that they see you, but that may not necessarily be who you are. There's a lot of illusion around Sam. We don't know exactly where he came from, what his motives are, what he's doing, what his role is in her life, how much control does he have in her life. It's just going to be a wait and see kind of situation with him. Okay. Again, he also has actually Saturn in the 9th house. Saturn's going to be there with him for about 2 more years. The 9th house governs long distance travel, foreigners, educational pursuits, higher education, cultural beliefs, our spirituality, our belief system in general, how we see the world. So he has Saturn there. So he's going through a lot of changes. This is a gentleman that's probably going through a lot of internal changes with regards to his faith and his spirituality. This would actually be a good time for him to get serious about his studies. So he may want to start to study an area of education. A lot of long distance travel for him. So he's probably going to be thinking about traveling. A lot of travel this year. He may be actually doing business with a lot of foreigners at this time, because foreigners are going to be a big part of his life for the next couple of years, and he may be doing business with them. But this is also an energy that he could possibly be getting into some type of film or media type projects. So I don't know if he's going to be doing foreign films. I don't know what that could look like for him, but definitely that could tie in with that 9th house energy, with him getting seriously into media and entertainment of some sort. He also has his Pluto in the 8th house. Again, you remember Britney has that Uranus in the 8th house. His Pluto is transiting this 8th house. And Pluto in the 8th house. Transformation with regards to other people's money. Listen, with Britney having that Uranus in the 8th house and him having that Pluto in the 8th house, There's a situation going on with money. There's a definite situation going on with money. This Pluto is about power struggles. Now, I don't know if he has any type of dealings or control over her money. I'm going to go out on a limb and say he does have some type of involvement, and there is some control issues with regards to her money and the money he shares or with another person or another entity. Let me tell you something. There's some situation coming up with money with them. This definitely is. I don't know what it could be, but it's a very serious dynamic with regards to money. Okay, so I wish him the best. And I'm not really sure what that is, but it could get very, very ugly by way of the financial dynamic within the two of them and with whomever else is involved in their financial situation. There is a power struggle and a power dynamic going on with the common resources and joint resources within this situation here, between Britney, him, and primarily possibly her family and people that she has around that she considers a part of her team. There is a lot of people trying to be in control of this woman's money. Okay, there's a lot going on with that, and her money is being mismanaged. I have no doubt her money is being mismanaged. He also has the his North Node in the 11th house. The 11th house is all about friends, social groupings, technology, the world, the masses, and he has a South Node in the 5th house. So this says to me there's dynamics with regards to his friendships, because he also has Uranus in this 11th house. This is also the area that governs unexpected blessings and unexpected money. So he could be in a favorable position with that. I don't know if he's trying to get some type of technology-based project off the ground. I wouldn't be surprised if he's not. So there's energy around that. Definitely energy around his friend groups. But this South Node in the 5th house, again, children. They're trying to have a baby. They're thinking about having children. So there could definitely be a quickie marriage coming up and an announcement of children. Like I said, I don't know if necessarily she's going to be able to get pregnant. So this could be her getting pregnant. Again, this could be a surrogate adoption or something to that effect, with regards to them having children. So, because I really see that on the agenda for them, particularly because it's in both their transit charts. He's going through his Neptune sextile, which is good for his creativity. And then he has a reverse nodal return in his 5th house of children. No, I'm sorry, in his 5th house of children. So there we are again. Romance, dating, all of those things. These people are going to get married if they are not already married. I'm just going to put it that way. By his rising sign, he's a Cancer rising, which would mean the ruler of his 7th house is Capricorn. That says to me that he ends up with people that are older than him. There's usually a considerable age difference with the people that he chooses to be in a romantic relationship with because Capricorn signifies older people, okay? Mature people. And definitely there is an age difference between like 12 years between him and Britney. So yes, he does gravitate towards older people in regards to relationships. And I found something very, very interesting in his 7th house. 7th house, again, is about relationships, marriage, one-on-one relationships. He has Neptune in his natal chart in the 7th house. This gentleman can draw into people. That means you can draw into people that have mental health issues, drug dependencies, that need to be saved, that just have self-sabotaging behavior, things of that nature. So yes, he likes to rescue people. This guy likes to rescue people, particularly the people that he's in a relationship with. Now, the ruler of his 7th house is Saturn. Saturn sits in his 9th house. This indicates him marrying someone that is foreign to him. she's an American. He's from Iran. So yeah, either they're going to meet abroad, or they're going to get married abroad, out of their away from where they normally live. So getting married abroad, meeting someone abroad, getting married to someone that is a foreigner, to you. This could also look like having a partner that's highly religious or from a different religious background. But it's very important for them to have the similar beliefs for him. And particularly around spirituality, not necessarily religion, but around spirituality. And he likes smart partners, people that are intellectual, well educated. And this actually could make him a really, really good teacher. So I'm wondering if that transiting energy that he has going on in that ninth house has to do with him coming across some type of teaching opportunities here in the next couple of years. Okay. So that is my reading on Sam. So to sum it up, these two people together, Britney and Sam, honestly, they actually are not a bad match on paper. Realistically, they're really not a bad match on paper. She definitely has a lot going on with her and will always have a lot going on with her. However, he's someone that draws this type of woman to him. So he's not unfamiliar with dealing with women with her type of issues, because that's what he typically deals with. So if anything, he can handle her challenges that she has in life. So this actually is not really a bad match. I think the thing of it is that the public really doesn't know a lot about him, and it makes them leery of him. Okay. At the end of the day, they're getting married. They're getting married. They're definitely going to get married this year. That would be my prediction. And I do believe that they're trying to have a baby and start a family together in some way. Okay, now the road to them becoming parents may look a little bit different. It may not be the traditional route, but they're definitely trying to have a family together, and they are getting married. Simple as that. All right, so that is my reading for Britney and Sam. I hope you guys have enjoyed it. Please leave, your comments down below on how you enjoyed the reading, or if the reading resonates with you, or if you agree or disagree. If you are interested in a personal reading with me, please visit my website at melaningoddesslife.biz. Follow me on all my social media platforms, Facebook and Instagram at Melanin Goddess Life. And please like, share, and subscribe to my channel. Hit the notification bell so you can be notified every time I upload a video. Thank you so much for your time, and you have a great day. Bye-bye.